Hi, I'm Dallas. I'm owner of Lower Gear Outdoors in Tempe, Arizona, and Southwest Kayaks in Lake Havasu City. We are a kayak dealer. We sell the Hobie kayak brand and also the Riot kayak brand. Today we happen to have a Pescador Pilot in the shop that we're doing a little upgrade work on. Thought I'd take the opportunity to compare it to the Riot. There's some similarities and differences. They're in a sort of somewhat similar price range. Maybe this will help you make a decision which one's best for you. Perception kayaks are available at some of the big box stores and a few specialty retailers. Riots are a little more recent entry into the market and mostly just available in some of the specialty shops like ours. We really like these, and you can draw your own conclusions. Both of them are available in a variety of colors, 4 or 5 different colors for each. Both of these are a little bit over 12 foot long. This is called the Pilot 12 and the Riot 12. They're both just a few inches longer than 12 feet. Weight-wise, there is a big difference. This is about 56 pounds, which is sort of drew our attraction to it. Very lightweight for car topping. The Pilot is more of a traditional weight range in that size. For this type of kayak, it's more like 85 pounds or so. Width, they're about the same, 34 inches. They're both pedal drive. Have similar seats, somewhat similar rigging. But let's get into some of the details on each. We'll do a little comparison here, just starting from front to back. Again, this is the Perception Pilot. The whole construction on both of these is similar. The handle on the front is pretty nice. It's soft to the touch. This one has an anchor trolley. I believe this has been added on as an aftermarket kind of add-on that the owner had. The way they handle the front is a little bit different. Pilot uses this mesh cover. There's a couple different brands that do that, but this just snaps over here. And then they have sort of like 2 glove compartments you might have in a car. These do not go down into the hull, which is a little bit of a disadvantage, but it is convenient storage right here attached with bungees. On the Riot front end, somewhat similarities. I really like this handle here. It is molded in with the plastic, so this makes it easy to carry, and then in conjunction with the lighter weight. Similar bungee setup up front here, except it's not a screen cover, it's more just a bungee cord. This one has an added on anchor trolley as well that isn't part of the base model of this. This is a pretty big difference here in that there is a full-size hatch here to gain hull access. The Pilot doesn't have any front hull access unless you were to go in aftermarket and add something like this. Coming back a little bit further, the Riot has the advantage of having a couple of molded in rod holders here. And then you get into the, we'll come back to the drives here in a minute. Both of them have gear tracks along the side, right in here. There's a little bit more linear length with the ones on the Riot, but there's adequate over here on the Pilot as well. I do like the handles a little bit better on the Riot. It is right here where you can grab a hold of it, and then there is a handle right here in the middle that you can grab to help you stand up, and also that's what this handle is for on the drive, that you can grab to stand up. A good feature of any kayak designed for fishing in particular is the comfort of the seat. Both of these are very similar in design. Both of them handle the back and forth with an adjustment with the strap. And they're both riding on gear tracks where you can adjust the leg length to the drive by raising and lowering the seat front to back. Neither one of these are designed to be elevated. That is one thing that the Hobie has, where you can elevate and lower the seat. By dint of the tape measure, you have a little more leg room with the Pilot than you do with the Riot. I have noticed that taller people, maybe 6'2" or whatever and above, might be a little cramped in either one of the Riots. Looks like you might have a little bit more leg room in the Pilot. Making a comparison between the two from the stern of the boat, first take a look at the rudders. They're both similar in design, have up and down sort of narrow dagger board style. This one is the same. We'll get into the steering in just a second. I do notice this one is a lot stiffer, a little bit harder to raise up and down than it is on the Riot. You have lifting handles from the back. Carrying this one around, you do sort of need to put your other hand under here to pick this one up, whereas with the Riot, the lifting handle is right in the middle. Even though they're similar length, the stern storage area of the Pilot is greater than it is with the Riot. That's because there's more storage room up front with the Riot than there is with the Pilot. This is the add-on we were doing. We were adding some boondocks, so this is not a standard part of the what this boat comes from. Either is the Scotty mount. The Riot does come pre-equipped with some gear tracks in the back. They both have bungee cord use here. The Riot has two molded-in rod holders in the back to go along with the two in the front. The Pilot has all four of its molded in rod holders here in the back. Right now, two of them are covered up and sacrificed to do the install of the landing gear. Both of them have a hatch access. One is right here. It's about a 4 or 5 inch hatch right here. The one to the Riot is a little bit bigger, and then also, I'm not going to be able to see it very well, there are 2 points of hull access, sort of smaller hatches that are right underneath the seat. Obviously, you can't access those when you're sitting in it, but by just sliding the seat up, then you can. So that would be for storage of items that you don't need ready access to while you're sitting there, and also better hull access if you're running any wiring or anything like that, which is a problem with the Pilots because the only hull access that you have is back here in the back. So if you're running cabling for fish finders, or in our case where we had to install this, it does require some snaking around to get the mounting place and stuff back here behind it. The steering setups on the Riot and the Pilot are somewhat similar, but there are some important differences. The handle on the Riot is right here by your left hand by the seat, and this will take you left, and that will take you right. Takes you a couple minutes to get the hang of which direction you're going to go as you turn it, but it is very easy to go left and right. My experience in these is it has a pretty tight turning radius, so it's not bad at all. To raise and lower the rudder, this is the big difference between these two. You have a 2 balled ropes on either side of your seat, and the red is for stop, so this will raise your rudder like that, and then this one over here drops it back down. On the Pilot, left and right is a little more traditional in that you have you're actually pointing it in that color, in that direction. The raising and lowering of the rudder on the Perception Pilot is all handled over here on the right-hand side of the kayaker. And it's controlled by this sort of trolley system here. It goes back to the rudder. We've had a couple of these. I personally find it a little tricky to do, but basically that's going to drop the rudder down, and then the steering is over on the other side. And then to raise it, which it may just be a problem with this particular unit, but you pull that, the rudder will come back up for transportation and when you are bringing it ashore. So the heart of any of these pedal kayaks is the drive that allows you to have hands-free operation for fishing, or just the capability of using your legs instead of your arms for propulsion. Both of these models use a standard propeller setup, so you do have instant reverse by just changing direction of your pedaling motion, and they both do that similarly. One of the reasons that the Riot is a lot less money than the Pilot is that somehow or another, through engineering and whatnot, they figured out a way to make this a lot less costly. But the way the Pilot handles their driving, getting in and out of harm's way, they each do it a little bit differently. And so this is in its fully installed mode. If you were coming ashore, getting ready for transportation, the steps of getting this out of harm's way are to pull this pin out, and then this comes out here. You remove this splash cover, and then you look down in there and line up and then this back. So you don't have to take the drive all the way out. So that is an advantage with this one. It is a little more trouble to do all the lineup, and you do have to pay attention to the exact pedal position to get it in this resting position and transportation position. So this is the way you would launch it, and then once you have about 2 feet of clearance, then you would drop it. On the Riot Mako, it is somewhat similar in concept, a little bit less going on as far as getting in and out, but you do have to take it all the way out to protect it. There are, the drive rests on it's got 4 resting places there. So you just move these out of the way here, line it up. Now it does have a clear plate here so that you can see the prop down below. And this one just goes straight up, and then it rests like this, and there's a buckle here, and this is the way it would transport. One pretty neat thing on this is there's only like 5 moving pieces here. Very lightweight. It's an injection molded plastic technology, so there's nothing in there that you have to grease or keep lubricated or anything like that. So those are some of the distinctions and the similarities between it. To summarize, they both come from reputable manufacturers. They've both been around for a long time. They both have similar warranties, pretty liberal at about 5 years. Be less on the drives and seats and some of the attachments. There's a pretty big difference price-wise. The base model of this one is $17.99, and the base model of this one from Riot is $12.99. And we do have these on hand, a variety of different colors and sizes. This one also comes in a 10-foot model that is $9.99. Some advantages to the Pilot might include the drive's ability to recess back inside the hull when you're transported rather than having to take it out. However, with the Riot, its probably big advantage is it has a lot better hull storage and access for running cabling or anything like that. The seats are similar, probably not enough distinction with those to worry about. A little more leg room with the Perception, and and definitely the steering on the setup on the Riot is a little bit better. So hopefully that'll help you in your decision process to see which one might be best for you. If we can ever help you out, just stop down at our store, either here in Tempe or Lake Havasu, Arizona. We'll be glad to show you around and help you make the right decision for you.